Do that in a minute.
Say, define according to.
Okay, so this is number one, off of your study guide that's up there. It gives you triangle XYZ and it tells you that the sine of angle X is 4/5, and then it asks you to find the sine of Z. So your dilemma, first off, is you gotta know the ratio for sine, and that's opposite over hypotenuse. So then you look from Z, that's the angle up there on the top, and you don't know the opposite. So there's a couple of ways to get that. Easiest way is to remember it's a Pythagorean triple. If you've got a hypotenuse of 5 and another leg of 4, it's gotta be a 3, 4, 5. If you didn't remember that, then do the Pythagorean theorem, just 5 squared minus 4 squared. So you get a 3 for that. So now from Z, opposite's 3, hypotenuse is 5. So you're just looking at 3 over 5, which was B, as in boomland. I know, that's why I was trying to tell y'all I was being nice. And there's, look, when you get down to number 3, look at number 3. All those are 3, 4, 5 are typing them in your calculator. I mean, I'm trying to work with
Pretty
you.
neat of you there.
Yeah, and you were being begging and.
Jesus, Tyler. Greedy.
I was wording it in a way that would sound audibly pleasing, to make you more inclined to give us what we want.
Yeah,
Okay, fine.
yeah,
The puppy dog eye method. You wouldn't know. Oh.
Alright, so here on number 2, we got a 20-degree angle down there, a 10 there, that would be the hypotenuse, if I might need to know that in a minute, and they named this side x. So that's what's given to me on number 2. It says find the length of x to the nearest 10. Christian's right, our sine function is what's going to be helpful to us here, because looking from angle 20, that is opposite over hypotenuse. So Christian's got you set up right. The sine of 20 is equal to x over 10. So then you could work it out a couple of different ways. The easiest thing to do would be to say your x is being divided by 10. So I'm just going to multiply that by 10. So 10 times the sine of 20. Whatever you get there, what were you going to ask, Christian? Okay.
I don't know.
3,
You do like an
4.
inverse or something?
So about, no, you didn't have to do inverse because the trig function is right next to a known value. It's if it's right next to a variable, yeah. So that was A on number 2. Okay, 3, 4, and 5 are all just type in your calculator problems, so I'll give you a second and let you try those, and then we make sure you got them right. They've all got that -1 power, so you gotta know where to find that inverse button.
Alpha y equals sine.
Whoa, why would you do all that? Don't confuse me. Does anybody need help on their calculator?
I have it in the wrong mode.
Yeah, I forgot to change.
Yep, check degree mode, very good.
Why?
I know, what were all 3 of them, Christian?
D.
No,
With an x beside.
B.
B. B is in boomland, all 3 of them.
Oh, you'll do that fast.
Well, keep going, make sure you get it right.
B
would be
Keep it
two
D in a
Ds on
mirror.
a ladder.
D.
Did you get it, Holly? Zach, did you get it?
Yes.
Right.
Hey, I got B, how'd you mess
I got it.
He's being a little too, you good on it, Aiden? Alrighty. Second page here on number 6 and 7, it's telling you you're dealing with a right triangle ABC, but it doesn't draw the triangle for you, and you're gonna need to draw that, cause it's gonna come, it gets kinda picky on what angle is where, so let me draw a right triangle real quick for us.
A, B, E, C.
Okay, now remember, your angles are opposite the corresponding sides. Angle A
Wait,
is,
these are right,
it tells you that in the directions on
like
it.
all of them?
Number
Okay.
6 and 7. Number 6 and 7, it says are right triangles. Okay, so it says side A is 3.4, so I'm gonna put that down here. I just know it can't be the hypotenuse, but, so if this is side A, that means angle
Oh.
A is opposite that, so I would put angle A up there. Side C is 5.8.
And it
And
says
it
side C
says
is
side, good,
Right.
Tyler, it says side C is your right triangle, so that 5.8 would have to be the hypotenuse. Okay, so that leaves B down here, where'd my marker go? There we go. Okay. So, is it? So first thing we would need to do is find out our missing side, but look at the choices on number 6. For side B,
Oh, they're all 4.7.
that'll give you 4.7. So it's okay if you spend the time to do the Pythagorean theorem, but if all the choices say that that's it, that's probably it, wouldn't you think? Okay, so now we've gotta find, angles B and angle A. So you could start it either way. I wanted to use the 5.8 and the 3.4, cause 4.7 can't be wrong here, cause it's the only choice, but I told y'all that in class, sometimes if you use one of the measures you found, if you messed it up, then you're gonna mess up everything else. So I wanted to use 5.8 and 3.4, so looking from B, that was adjacent and hypotenuse, which is cosine. So cosine of B would equal adjacent, which is 3.4, over hypotenuse, which is 5.8. Now, this is the one you were talking about a second ago, Christian. My trig function is right next to an unknown. So this is when you're gonna do second with the inverse. So you're gonna get cosine inverse of 3.4 over 5.8. And that'll get you that angle B
54.1.
is approximately 54.1. Now, look at C and D. This is why I was telling you it was real important on how you drew your triangle. C and D have all of the same angle measures, but they flip-flopped them. So you gotta be super careful on that. So this one would be D, is in dynamite. Tricky, isn't it?
Oh, is it because you did it from the angle B?
So if we would've went from A, we would've had to set it up, 3.4 would've been opposite, so we would've set it up using sine. We still would've gotten the right answer, but, alright, let's do.
Multiple ways to skin a cat.
Yep, let's do 7, it's similar. Give me another right triangle.
First one being tapping.
Easy there, killer, that's weird. Alright, so again, our right triangle, angle C is the 90, so that means that this is the hypotenuse. And then, I'll just make it the same way I did the last one to stay consistent. I put A up here at the top, didn't I?
Oh, that's a trapezoid.
What is he talking about? So this would be 3.
At least we got whole numbers.
We don't know angle B. We would do the Pythagorean theorem to find out side B, but look at the choices.
They're all different.
Not for side B, they're not. They all got 18.8. So I just saved myself a little bit of time on that. Okay, so I'm gonna set this up exactly the same way I did the other one. I've got adjacent is 3, hypotenuse is 9.
Mm.
So the cosine of
3
B
over 19.
is equal to 3 over 19. So I'm gonna do the inverse cosine of 3 over 19. And that would get me B is approximately,
Don't say it, Tyler, I wanna do it.
okay, don't say it, Tyler, just do it.
90 minus
Would you look at the choices and pick the
10
correct?
plus 1.
Speak English.
Christian.
80.9 is what the choice has, right?
Yeah.
Now again, they did the same thing to you. Look at A and B. They just mix those angles up, so make sure you choose the one with the correct angle, so that one would be B is in boomland. No? Did I say that wrong? B is 80.9,
Yeah.
B is 80.9.
That's okay.
so it's A, yes. I wrote that, see, I messed that up.
It'll be A.
A.
Yeah.
I know, A, number,
But here, this is where we're allowed to mess
7.
up because we
That's
can
right.
learn from.
that's right. So 7 is A. Alright, so the last 3 are not right triangles, so these are the 3s, 8, 9, and 10, where we'll have to use law of sines or law of cosines. Yep. And this is where you can, I'll show you down at the bottom, all the work I had to do on,
That
8,
means
9,
I'll
and
get
10.
7 correct. I'll get a 7.
That's correct. So why not get 10 correct to get a hundo?
Because I'm not good at these.
You could be.
Well, he did get 100 minus 10 minus 10
Plus
plus
1.
1 minus 0.9.
Alright,
Point 1.
so I'm going to draw me a triangle for number 8. And these are not right triangles, like we said, so this will be just this little deal that we were doing the last couple of days. Okay, it tells me on number 8 that the measure of angle A is 55 degrees, so I just started here. Then it says the measure of angle B is 44. Side B is 68, so that's gotta be opposite angle B, and that's all it gave me. So this is angle C, I gotta find side C, and I gotta find side A. Okay, angle C would be the easiest to find first, because you just subtract from 180, but look at the choices. All the choices give you angle C is 81, so you could, you could check it, make sure, but pretty sure that's 81 on all of them.
Nah.
Okay, so now, I can use, we could use law of sines if we had matching info. So do I have a side and an angle that are the same letter?
B.
Okay, good. I got angle, I know angle B and I know side B. So I can use law of sines, and that's always a little bit easier. It's the sides that I'm trying to solve for, so I'm gonna put that on top. So that'll be 68
B or C.
over the sine of 44 is equal to, do you wanna find A or C first?
A.
A over the sine of 55. Okay, so my A is being divided by sine of 55, so I'm gonna multiply by sine of 55. So it's gonna be 68 times the sine of 55, enter, divided by the sine of 44, enter.
.1.
What's after the 1?
866.
So that would go to 80.2. Okay, so angle A is 80.2. So let's look at our choices. B has
B.
got it. B's the only one that's got it. So B is in boomland.
Bud dog.
That was with the butt. got on one side.
Alright, number 9, I draw my triangle again. Didn't like it when they started using different letters on 9 and 10, just tend to like ABC. But it will.
Where did L come from?
JKL.
Oh,
It's got JKLMNOP.
Okay, so number 9, it says in triangle JKL, side J equals 9, so I started that off just pretending like that was the A, so there's my J, so this is side J. Side K equals 5, so we'll say K is there, 5 is there. Measure of angle L is 43. So we don't know side L. I'm gonna write a cursive L for side L. Okay. And then it says, find the measure of angle J. So we don't have to solve the whole triangle here, we just gotta find J. So can I use,
opposite over hypotenuse.
no, it's not a right triangle. Good idea, but not a right triangle. So the
Law of
choice
cosines.
is law of sines or law of cosines. Law of sines is easier if I have both parts of the letter, if I have the angle and the side. Do I have the angle and the side both on anything? Nope, so then I'm to law of cosines. Okay, so
95
Cosine.
tangent.
okay, so cosine of L, since that's the only one we have, that starts off as, and you're just putting J, K, and L's in where the A, B's, and C's are. So L squared is equal to 5 squared plus 9 squared minus 2 times 5 times 9 times the cosine of 43. Now, I didn't have the law of cosines memorized when I was working this yesterday, but I had it in my notes, just like you do. So you can look there in your notes and get that. Go ahead and simplify your stuff you can. So you've got L squared equals 25 plus 81, which is 106,
7.
minus 2 times 5 times 9 is 90. Now, in your calculator, you're gonna get 106 minus 90 cosine of 43.
Cosine 43. Oh, it's 90 cosine 43.
106 minus 90 cosine 43.
40.2.
Okay, and then undo that squared by square rooting.
Yep.
What do you got?
6.3.
Okay, so side L is 6.3. Guess what? We just did a whole lot of good math that we needed to do, but we don't have the answer the question asked for yet.
We need
The question asked for angle
angle.
J. But what we did just do is create, we got our L. So we know angle L and we know side L, so now we can do the law of sines. We're trying to solve for angle J, so we're gonna put angles on top. So I'm gonna put sine of 43 over 6.3, that's my L stuff, equals sine of J over 9. Okay, so my J is being divided by 9, so I'm gonna multiply by 9, so I'm looking at 9 sine 43 enter, divided by 6.3 enter, and that's equal to the sine of J. So 0.97 is equal to the sine of J. So what button do I have to push since sine is right next to J? How do I undo a sine?
Second cosine.
Second sine, sine. So hit second sine of 0.97, and angle J is about
76.
close to 76. The choice has got it at,
75 point.
yes,
75.
75, yeah, they went to whole numbers on that one, so 75. And that would be D as in dynamite.
Then I went to 76.
Well, but we rounded with our 6.3 stuff, so we might have got a little bit off during the rounding process. Alright, last one is like that one. We're gonna have to go through one of the processes in order to get to the other process again. So got what you need on number 9 up there? Okie dokie. Draw a triangle. Okay, on 10 it says we got triangle FGH, so I'll just,
75.5, so I would look at actually.
what was that?
75.5.
G is 8, so that'd be this one, opposite angle G. H is 13, so opposite angle H. Measure angle F is 72 degrees. It wants us to find G.
And that's fine, that's
Like the measure of angle G or G?
Well, we got side G is 8, so it wants the measure of angle G. Okay, so we're in the same dilemma as we were on the last one. We don't have any matching info. The only angle we know is F, but we don't know side F. So we don't have any matching info. So we're gonna have to use the law of cosines first. It would be right over here, opposite the angle. We gotta use the law of cosines first. So since we know angle F, let's put the cosine of F, right? So that starts with F squared equals, and then you're good. And then it's always minus 2, and then just times your other sides, and then times cosine of that angle. Okay, so 64 and 169, that gets you 233, good. And then 2 times 8 times 13 gets you 208. The 2 times 8 times 13?
I missed times.
Okay, so right here, 233 minus 208 cosine of 72, you're hitting that in your calculator.
No.
Very good. And then that's what F squared is, so we need to undo the squared and square root it. Square root it. 12.98. Okay, so we know side F now. So now we've got some matching stuff. We've got angle F and side F. So we can go to law of sines now. We're trying to solve for angle G, so we're gonna put the angle on top. So we're gonna put sine of 72 over 12.98 equals sine of G over 8. G is being divided by 8, so you multiply by 8. So 8 sine 72, enter, divided by 12.98, enter. Okay, then that's what sine G equals, so how do we undo sine?
Inverse.
Inverse, so you're gonna do the inverse sine of 0.6. 36.4. Okay.
That's weird.
Yeah, we got close. The answer's 35.9. But again, I mean, that's the closest one, so you would know to pick that one. But it all again goes back to your rounding. So try to leave stuff on your, you know how to recall a number off your calculator? Try to leave stuff on your calculator and use it from there so you don't have to round as often, and you'll probably get closer. On the 168.7, I I did 168.72, and then I had 12.99, and that got me a little bit closer, but,
Yeah, 12 point.
so that one is B also, is in Boomland. Okay? Not gonna be too horrible, just make sure you know where your law of sines and law of cosines stuff is, and then make sure you know how to use your calculator, check to make sure it's in degrees. Everything on here you needed degrees, we didn't need radians for anything. You good? So, I'll probably publish it during first period if I had to guess. Because I don't have my first period class was seniors and I don't have them anymore. So I'll probably publish it during first period, so then just any point you get a chance. It's not gonna take very long with just the 10 questions, so. Okie dokie?